It seems to be a great day for the semiconductor market today. As we can see, Nvidia is up over 5%. AMD is also up over 4% as I am recording the episode. And I do want to say it probably has to do with two earnings that came out yesterday on Wednesday, October 19th. ASML reported earnings and right now they're up 5.5%, and Lam Research is up over 10% as they reported earnings yesterday after the market closed. So during the earnings call, they did share a lot of great insight about the semiconductor market, and let's take a closer look in today's episode.
I do want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and make sure to check out fool.com/Jose to get the top 10 stocks to buy right now.
For those that are not familiar with ASML and Lam Research, both these companies deal with the manufacturing side of the semiconductor industry. Even though they're both dealing in the semiconductor manufacturing side, they both hit different markets. ASML, for example, is known for their lithography system, and then Lam Research is known for another market. They're known for their process, their deposition, their etch, their mass metrology, and their strip and clean products. They have a huge variety of solutions, and we can see some of them here. And if we take a closer look at kind of the markets they hit, in their most recent revenue, we can see Lam Research hits mainly the memory market. 52% of the revenue comes from the memory market, 34% comes from foundry, and 14% comes from logic. And if we take a closer look at ASML, we can see a whole different case. 68% comes from logic and 32% comes from memory. And those are strong distinctions to make because right now it does seem like the memory market is seeing a little bit more headwinds than the logic market. We also got to see the regions where these companies make most of their money. We can see right now ASML 47% comes from Taiwan, 24% comes from South Korea. So we can see just these two countries alone make up about 3/4 of total revenue. Where Lam Research, they do have a little bit more dependency in the Chinese market. But we are going to hear some of their thoughts with especially the new United States regulations. The other 22% comes from Taiwan, 17% comes from Korea. And if you are enjoying the episode so far, make sure to hit the thumbs up as it does help me grow my overall audience. If you want to support a little bit more, make sure to subscribe using my link at fool.com/Jose. So here we can take a closer look at some statements on the outlook and the current market for the semiconductor industry. First, let's start off with ASML. They do mention that there is uncertainty in the market due to a number of global macroeconomic concerns, including inflation, consumer confidence, and the risk of a recession. While they are starting to see diverging demand dynamics per market segment, the overall demand for their systems continue to be strong. So again, while they do see maybe some short-term risk because of the overall macroeconomics, they're still super bullish on the long term of things. And I'll explain a little bit more why in a bit. But they also mentioned that following the new US export control regulations, based on their initial assessments, the new restrictions do not amend the rules governing lithography equipment shipped by ASML out of Netherlands, and they expect direct impact on ASML's overall 2023 shipments plan to be limited. So a company like ASML is not being impacted too much by these new regulations that the United States has made. ASML mentions that their 2023, so their upcoming shipment demand, is still significantly above their build and shipment capacity for next year. So even if there is a slowdown in certain of these markets, they believe that they still won't be able to keep up with the current demand. At the end of the day, they do say that looking to next year and bearing in mind the current environment, is still too early to provide specific guidance, and they will give us a little bit more at the end of Q4. While they did say the United States regulations would rarely impact their kind of shipment for the future, they do believe that it will have some form of indirect impact for about 5% of their backlog. They even doubled down. They said, lastly, if for export controls related reasons they cannot ship to more advanced fabs in China, we have more than sufficient demand for these systems elsewhere globally as demand continues to exceed supply. And the final remarks they made, in summary, while the current environment there is a lot of uncertainty due to macro concerns, our customers' demand for our products continue to exceed supply. We are working to increase their capacity next year with a plan to further increase this by 2025. So to me, the manufacturing side of the semiconductor market is still very, very healthy. And to me, that's overall bullish for the semiconductor market as a whole. So now if we look at Lam Research, things are a little bit different, but remember, they do hit a little bit different market. They're a little bit more focused on the memory side. So when we take a closer look at wafer fabrication equipment, so this is pretty much semiconductor equipment, for the calendar year of 2022, outlook is in the low $90 billion range, where it was previously in the high $90 billion range. The reasons for the shift are: one, the regulations changes in the United States with United States regulation. The second reason is just the overall slowdown. They do mention for 2023, there's going to be more than 20% decline from 2022. So that'll be closer to a high $70 billion in wafer fabrication equipment. So some of that could be seen as a bearish case. Lam Research might take a bigger hit because they do mention a good portion of that decline is coming from the memory side, not too much in the logic side of things. But they do mention as customers' actions to reduce memory bit supply growth create a favorable setup for memory equipment mix beyond calendar year of 2023. So they do say that, hey, 2023 is going to be some form of a slowdown in CapEx, but they do expect it to kind of increase back in 2024. And remember, we know the market is more of a kind of forward thinking or forward looking machine. So now this is kind of bullish case. He's saying that, hey, maybe next year might be bad, but after next year, things might start to look good. So it might not be a dead end for the semiconductor market. Outside of that, Lam Research says because of the United States regulations, their kind of full year upcoming revenue will be impacted roughly $2.5 billion. So not the worst case for Lam Research. Again, we can see the stock price up over 10% as I am recording today's episode. And I do believe one of the main reasons is a lot of investors might have been worried about these current US regulations and what it might do to companies' revenue. At the moment, it does seem to be very kind of small niche into certain markets, especially the advanced node products, but only in the Chinese region. Again, we can see from all these other companies that there's still huge demand, especially for ASML, for their products globally. So to me, what it does seem that the market is seeing is that, hey, 2023 might be the bottom or the worst case for the semiconductor industries, and that's why 2024 is going to probably be another growth year for this market. Again, the market being more of a forward-looking thing, it kind of already had priced in to some extent some of these pull downs, some of these regulation changes, some of these kind of shifts in CapEx spending. And now the market is seeing that, hey, it might not be as bad as we previously thought. At the end of the day, the market can continue to be volatile, but I do believe that the semiconductor industry is here to stay. It's going to be continuing strong, especially with the numerous amount of tailwinds this market has. So take care, have a good day, and see you next time.